And you found this article, Darren. Let me pull it up here. I need to log in.
Yeah, in general, it's another summary, and you constantly get these summaries of the market, but when there's more relevant data that's
Yeah,
impacting that evaluation, we
yeah,
like to bring them forward.
yeah. Well, we'll skip through this, but yeah, I thought it was pretty detailed, which was good. So I'll read some of this. Why higher rates aren't crashing home prices. The housing bubble boys got it wrong again. Home prices aren't crashing despite what the housing bubble boys are saying. In fact, home prices have firmed up higher recently. The housing bubble boys are a crew that from 2012 to 2019 screamed housing crash every year. They went all in during COVID-19 in 2020, doubled down in 2021 as the forbearance crash bros but really bet the farm on a massive home price crash in 2023 after the most significant home sales crash ever in 2022. Well, it's June 9th, 2023, and home prices have been firm month to month, not showing anything that resembles the housing bubble crash years. Those who know my work over the last 10 years know that I have Batman Joker relationship with the housing crash people because they never stop. I mean, it's year 11 now of the housing bubble 2.0 crash. So each year is different, but here are some reasons they gave for home prices to crash over the past 11 years. 2012, shadow inventory. 2013, higher mortgage rates. 2014, QE ending in October. 2015, manufacturing recession. 2016, home prices got back to the bubble high. 2017, no good reason. 2018, 5% mortgage rates, start of the bubble crash for sure. 2019, home price growth was cooling off. 2020, COVID-19. 2021, mortgage forbearance. 2022, 7% mortgage rates. 2023, historically low housing demand. The point of this article is not to focus on the years 2012 to 21, but on how crazy the housing data has been since 2022 and when the housing market changed from a historic crash in demand to stabilization. In 2022, it was all about finding a point in time when I thought mortgage rates would fall, which was key to understanding how the purchase application data would react to lower mortgage rates. We have had plenty of times in the previous decade when mortgage rates fell and demand improved, but that was with a lot lower mortgage rates. In 2022, mortgage rates got as high as 7.37. So the question was, how long or how low do rates have to go for housing demand to get better? But first, let's try starting with some key dates in 2022. On June 16th, 2022, I put the housing market into a recession, which is where housing demand, housing jobs, housing income, and housing production all drop. We can see this over the last year as jobs are being lost in the industry, incomes are falling due to less transaction volume, housing demand collapsed, and housing permits fell since the builders had a backlog of homes to work off. And it goes on. Do you have any particular points, Darren, that maybe we should point out? Let's see. When did the 10-year yield peak? Goes on.
Yeah, just maybe hit the topics there. So
Yeah.
we're
So,
understanding the relevance. That's good. That's fine. Move
yeah.
on from there to the next bold headline in the
Yeah.
article.
So when did the 10-year yield peak? The 10-year yield is central to all my economic work, but trying to find a top in 2022 was very challenging due to the market conditions where bond yields rose so fast and the strong dollar put so much stress on the world markets. For instance, England almost lost its pension funds, and Japan needed intervention for theirs. Even the IMF was begging the US to stop hiking rates. All right. And then next was purchase application data. The housing market began to change starting November 9th, 2022, from a housing sales crash to a stabilization period. That day, I wrote an article about how bad the home sales data was getting due to the affordability hit and that existing home sales should get down toward 4 million and below. This is key because it's rare since 1996 to get sales below 4 million, and we have many more workers now than in previous cycles. All right. And then housing inventory. The number one story in the second half of 2022 was that after mortgage rates spiked, new listing data started to go negative year over year, which was crazy because we were already working from all-time lows. This was a big deal, and the weekly housing market tracker of new listing data was all over this. The weakness in the new listing data carried us all the way to where we are today in 2023 at all-time lows. And there's the pretty graph there. All right. Inventory down, right? Number of consumers with new foreclosures and bankruptcies. So that's
continually down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I think,
That's it.
we haven't heard are bigger, newer trends possible in just behavior around housing. This article's focused on, and many of the things we've been talking about have been focused on fewer sales. So they talk about 4 million, they're talking about total sales for the year. And just continually how that number's been shrinking, and we just keep setting new records with higher population and more people. So those records are even more relevant as they continue to sink. Maybe the trend is, and I have no idea how this will play out long term, but this happens in other countries. Maybe the trend is that people just don't move as often. We always talk about people move every 7 years. Why do they get 30-year fixed rate mortgages? Right?
Right.
Why do you, and refinance for another 30, because statistics show they move every 7 years, and those statistics generated lots of turnover, lots of volume. Certainly, maybe we're getting to a point where, some of the culture around housing might change. People might stay put longer, and they're evaluating that from a perspective of what's wrong? Why are all the reasons they're not moving? Yeah. Maybe there are enough reasons where that is a more permanent shift in our culture and housing.
I think you called it, man. Yeah, that's definitely something. For sure. It's the start for sure right now.
Right.
Okay, well, there you go. So I put a paper airplane on my graphic about this, and I think we're okay. We're going to be all right, hopefully.